I meant to tell you all this on the Non-League to Legend episode that came out earlier today, but I completely forgot at the time, so I will remind you, or I won't remind you now, I'll tell you now. I was supposed to remind you now, so I was supposed to tell you then. Didn't tell you then, telling you now, no reminder. You're getting one opportunity for this, but the Kev World Tour, the Lollujo World Tour, I think we're officially calling it, rolls on again tomorrow. We're in London, not for a convention or an expo. I'm down there to be on the telly. If any of you have ever seen Fan TV, I'm going to be on that. It's on Sky Channel 218. It's also on their YouTube channel, their Facebook channel, basically anywhere you can stream video. I'm going to be on there from about 7-ish through till about 7:45-ish. And it would be awesome if you wanted to tune in. I don't really know what I'm going to be talking about. Probably a little bit of posh. Probably a little bit of Football Manager, but it would be great to have you all tweeting in and trying to make my phone vibrate in my pocket and on my wrist all the way through and put me off. So let me know down in the comments to this video if you're planning on tuning in tomorrow. And then tomorrow, as you're tuning in, feel free to abuse me on Twitter because I'll be wearing a shirt like a big boy and probably going bright red because my blood pressure will be through the roof. So, it'll be an experience, and we'll see how it goes, eh? Hello and welcome to Season 2, Part 2 of My Everton Save. We need a better name for this, by the way. Can't just keep calling it My Everton Save. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode we have our first game of the Europa League campaign against Apoel, and then we're at home against Bournemouth in the Premier League. Since you were last with me, I think this is about as good a start to the season as we could have hoped for. You saw the 4-0 win against Burnley. We then beat West Ham 3-1. We pushed it really hard against Man City. We were 2-0 up and 3-2 up at various points in that game, but they came back with several late goals and beat us 5-3. And then I think, smarting a little bit from what happened at City, just got a 2-2 draw at home against QPR. It's our first really disappointing result of the season. But it does mean that after 4 games, I know it's early, but 4 games in, we're exactly where we're supposed to be. We're sat in the Europa League space, 5th position. If we end up finishing there, that'll be a bit of a result. Even more ridiculous is Enner Valencia is the top goal scorer in the Premier League with 6 goals from 4 games. And he's also got the second highest average rating in the division. He's had player of the match in 3 different matches. I don't understand what has got into Enner Valencia because he wasn't this good last year. He is in the purple patch of all purple patches, averaging an 8.27. He's already scored half as many goals as he got last time we were in the Premier League. And he was top scorer that year. So I think it's safe to say we're going to have a better season than Everton did last time they were in the Premier League. But we're not talking about the Premier League just now. We're talking about the Europa League. And because it's the Europa League, we're going to mix things up a little bit. Have a little look at some of our more fringe players. I wouldn't say it's the reserves. It's not a backup side. But we're having a look at some of the fringe players. And we have signed one more player since you were last with me. The transfer window closed. We didn't sell anyone. Yes. Romelu Lukaku signed a new 4-year contract. Double yes. And we signed a defender. Mehdi Benatia comes in from, I think he was at Bayern Munich. He was at Bayern Munich. And he's not exactly the player we were looking for. He's a bit old for our player profile. But he's 3.5-star current ability. And as good as Rodrigo Chiao. So he improves the defence, which is what we were hoping to do. He's just not going to be here for 2 or 3 years, is he? But it's an immediate improvement. That's exactly what we needed. And he's going to be making his debut today. So, our team for today, we have Matthew Ryan in goal. Why is that there? Go. And then at left back, making his debut, we have Ludvig Augustinsson. Alongside Benatia, Rodrigo Chiao and Milan Gajic, who has played more games than Omar so far this season. Mainly because Omar started the season injured. But they are sort of rotating a little bit at the moment. Tom Cleverley's getting his first start of the season in that ball-winning midfield role that he did so brilliantly for the second half of last season, which pushes Jorrit Hendricks out to be the box-to-box midfielder, and Asensio comes into the side for his first start as a roaming playmaker. Juan Pai gets his first start as a trequartista, which means Ross Barkley has dropped to the bench, as has Romelu Lukaku, because alongside Enner Valencia today, we're giving a first start to Bertrand Traore, who has 2 goals from 5 substitute appearances and is outscoring Lukaku already. Will Hughes also dropping down to the bench because we know he's brilliant. He doesn't need to prove himself in Europe. So let's get into the game. There you go. We're 6-1 on for this one. And there you go. He's captain because he's good. And we're resting him because we don't need him to play. And oh, is that the same Chris that I had in non-league to legend last year? Oh, no, it's not. He's too old. For a minute there. Oh, that would have been exciting. We don't care about him. Of course, he won't score a hat-trick now because he's not in the team. What a defensive system they're playing. It's like being back in Italy again. Hopefully, we're going to win 8-0. Are we at home? We are at home. Excellent stuff. So I'm hoping for some good performances for some of the more fringe players here. It'd be good to see Valencia carry on in the rich vein of form that he's been in, but we want to see similar sort of stuff from Traore. We've got like that. Traore gets his 3rd goal of the season. We're 1-0 up after less than 20 minutes. Marvellous. But we want to see stuff from Asensio and Juan Pai. That's probably not even how you say his name. But I'll tell you something, that's how I'm going to be saying his name. Because, as you all know, I've never heard of him. Because I don't know any footballers, really, who don't play for Posh or appear on Match of the Day regularly. And by regularly, I mean the 2 or 3 times a season I watch it. So first day of the season, last day of the season, and that one day where I'm just feeling a bit rough and don't want to play Football Manager or anything else, so I stick Match of the Day on. And that could happen anywhere between sort of now and February. So if he's not been on any of that, I don't know who he is. While all this is going on, we've gone 2-0 up. Obviously, it's Enner Valencia. And he doesn't even have to aim now. He just hits it really hard, straight at the goalkeeper. And the keeper knows he's got to move his hand or lose his hand. Because Enner Valencia is going to kick it really hard. Asensio now finds Valencia again out to Gajic, and he forces a save out the keeper. Juan Pai comes back in, forces another save. We are absolutely all over this lot. Juan Pai with a corner. Benassia now loses out, but they've got no one to clear this to, so they're just lumping it up to Augustinson, who's going to put it back in again, and we are back attacking again. That's why I don't understand why teams don't leave players up from corners, because they've asked for this. Completely self-inflicted. Enner Valencia would not have got the ball where he did at that point to score that goal if they'd have had a player stood on the centre circle just to clear it to. But because they didn't, silly Billies. And he's got 10 goals now so far this season. He is scoring at a quite ridiculous rate. I just don't know what's got into him. I'm terrified that this is where I find out that FM17's got random drug tests in it and he's going to end up getting a ban, because for him to improve the way he has so dramatically for no apparent reason, because we're playing at a higher level, I just don't understand what's brought that on. Juan Pai now out to Valencia again, who's just trying audacious, ridiculous stuff. It might just be that he feels on top of the world and he's trying everything. He never would have even attempted what he tried just there last season. It's probably no bad thing because it was rubbish, but Augustinson in now and Valencia misses. See, he's a confidence man. Now I'm picking on him a little bit. He's starting to miss a few chances. We're going to get the old Enner Valencia back. The purple patch is over, everybody. Cleverly, I think that's the first time I've mentioned his name. Clearly not needing a ball-winning midfielder today. Hendricks enjoying a bit more attacking licence, playing as a box-to-box midfielder. Probably showing me why he doesn't need that, because that shot was rubbish. Right, what are we going to do? Juan Pai hasn't had a good game. Let's bring Fernandez on, but we're going to put Asensio up there and bring Fernandez back to the roaming playmaker role he's been playing for us all season long. We'll also take off Tom Cleverley, bring on Will Hughes, and switch. In fact, no, we normally have Hughes there, don't we? That's our normal-looking midfield 3, so we'll just go to that, because why not? We haven't rotated so much. We have fresh players on the bench as well. If the midfield's not playing very well, we have to bring the good midfielders back on. Do I have to explain everything? Let's also... Actually, should we bring Luke de Jong on? He's just coming back from injury. Let's get him on for Traore. and just give him 10 minutes just to remind him that it's a shame that he seems to have fallen down the pecking order. He was first choice striker alongside Lukaku all last season. Obviously, he's behind Valencia, the form Valencia's currently in, and Traore's got 3 goals already as well. So De Jong, through no fault of his own, could have found himself fourth choice striker. So he's come off the bench still a little bit injured and got another goal because he's not having this fourth choice striker nonsense. He was signed to be the main man. He was one of the main men last year. And I tell you what, of all our strikers at the moment, the one who's not performing is our captain, Romelu Lukaku, which is an issue he had at the start of last season, and then he came good and scored like 40 goals. So perhaps he just starts a bit slowly. But that was a good performance. Hopefully we can carry that over into our next game in the league. Right, a bit more rotation for this game because we're Premier League big boys now and we can rotate whenever we feel like it. So Lukaku comes back into the side up front. Enner Valencia is going to be rested because I want to see these two together, and Valencia can always come on if we need him, but, you know, we'll give him a little bit of a rest. Barkley comes back in as a Trequartista in place of Wampai. Hughes is going to stay on the bench for another game, but Fernandes comes back in for Tom Cleverley, who drops out the squad altogether, with Hendricks moving back across to being the ball-winning midfielder. And we've left the back four unchanged because they look quite good, and why not? Let's get into the game. I'd like to point out, neither of these teams you've seen have been our first choice team, and yeah, there you go. The media straight away picked up on it. Obviously, our first choice team has Will Hughes in it, but we've got a lot of good players in the centre of midfield. We don't need to play them all every week, and they won't all play all the time. And at the moment, we're giving Will Hughes a rest. He was away at the Euros or the World Cup or wherever he was. He was certainly gallivanting doing something over the summer. Both him and Barkley came back to pre-season training late. We had to send them off on holidays again. They've only really been training since early August. So we don't want either of them playing every game. And for Hughes to sit out a week, that's all right. Oh, we've given away a penalty, for goodness sake. I mean, we've come down from behind before, come back from a goal down before. Oh, Matthew Ryan has made the save, and Hendricks can break clean here, and I can't get my words out, but we had men over at one point there, but I was too busy. Combination of not being able to breathe because of my stupid blocked nose, and overexcitement and trying to say too much, and I feel the commentary suffered, and professionally, this troubles me. But, you know, you try doing this with your nose blocked and sounding like you're panting like a dog who's really hot because you're trying to say 5 words without taking a breath and, oh, there you go. I tell you what, that was nice. Fill the old lungs up. And we are 1-0 down now. Callum Wilson gets his second goal of the season. Apparently Matthew Ryan could have done better with that, but he has saved a penalty. So I guess we'll let him off. Oh, look, you can see the telly in the background. I've not noticed that before. He says, I've probably mentioned it before, but I don't remember ever seeing that before. That's awesome. Was that actually showing the match that was going on below it? Because that would be even more awesome if it did. But I think we might need Enner Valencia, although looking at those stats, defensively, we've got a problem today. We've already gifted Bournemouth 3 clear-cut chances. We've only had 1. We're lucky to only be 1-0 down at this point. We kind of need to get our act together. We're a better team than this, and they're in again. And good job, Callum Wilson has not got his shooting boots on today because he has had a number of golden opportunities, including a penalty, and has only put one of them away. But he's not going to be that generous with us in the second half, surely. So we need to sort ourselves out, stop giving away so many chances at the back, and get something moving going forward. Asensio finds Lukaku. What's with him? He signed his new contract. He's the captain. You'd think he'd be really happy about being back at this level, but perhaps he was enjoying an easy season last year. It took him a little while to get going. I guess he's been off doing international stuff over the summer as well. But again, that goal has come from Lukaku missing out and sort of not holding up the ball away. There you go. Look, it's starting right there from Lukaku. Even on the replay, the ball comes over the top when really our big centre forward should have been keeping hold of that and playing other players in around him. Instead, he lets the centre back come through him. They lump it forward. They've gone 2-0 up. we're going to be taking Lukaku off in a minute, and Barkley, because both of them are not pulling their weight today, and it's stressing me out. Goodness me. Right, we're going to bring Valencia on for Lukaku. I mean, this is going to be too little, too late now, I fear. And we'll bring Will Hughes on for Barkley, and we'll stick Asensio up there, drop Hughes back, and hope that Valencia's got some magic in him and manages to make something happen in the 15 minutes that he's going to get. And we've got a penalty now, and Callum Wilson is the one who's given it away. Bournemouth have dropped to a very defensive 10 men behind the ball type dealy, but we have a penalty with 15 minutes left. If we can tuck this away, it's by no means over. Fernandes does score. It's back to 2-1 with 15 minutes left. We have a chance to salvage something from what, quite frankly, has been a shambles of a performance. Europa League hangover. That's what's happening here. But there you go, Bruno. Get in there. Grab that ball. Right, who have we got? Who's going to come on and change the game? We've got Luke de Jong sat down there. We've got Juan Pai sat down there. I think he's the man. De Jong's just not quite fit. And I don't really want to take Traore off. But we can do this and then just sort of move everybody around a bit. Get him in there. And I think that might make something happen. So let's do that. And I mean, that's a poor goal kick, and Gajic does well to intercept that. And now we need to get the ball rolling again. And Augustinsson cross comes into Valencia, and he's missed an absolute sitter. I shouldn't have criticised him in the last game. I've broken Valencia. He's been the form player of the Premier League so far this season, and I've broken him by ribbing him. But that's a beautiful ball to Traore, and he scores, and it's 2-2 with 2 minutes left. I'd like to point out, incredibly good signing, Bertrand Traore. 4 goals from 2 starts now, and that is just a good finish. Look at that, brings it down 1 touch, next touch, just absolutely thwacks it into the far corner from outside of the penalty area. There's no height on that, that's just placed perfectly, hit with pace. It's just a really good finish. And let's not throw it away now. We've got about 15 seconds left. It would be nice to go and grab a winner, but we are already mugging Bournemouth with a draw. So let's just not let them get back into it. Well, Traore's got about a second, and apparently that's not quite long enough. It's a disappointment to only draw, but after a European game and the fact it was a mugging, I can probably live with that. If you've enjoyed that episode, make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thank you very much for watching.